Share my screen. And we're going to talk about everyone's favorite lead management and generation. Now, I think it's funny that this comes on Halloween today because sometimes this stuff freaks you out. So, we're going to talk through what managing leads is, and most importantly, is not. That is a very important thing. I also, the number one dad mug, Nadia. I just, every time, I love it so much. I know it's like the only mug in your house and it just makes my day. Okay, so when we are talking about managing and generating leads, this is one of the most important pieces of having a business. So we're going to talk about who your ideal customer is. Is anyone has heard of the term ideal client avatar or ICA? We're going to talk a smidge about that today. We're going to think about who is a good fit for your product. Then we're going to think about why it's important to oversell. This is a skill that is important for you guys to understand so that you have more consistency. Then we're going to talk about how to do cold lead outreach and how to bring new people into your business, along with a little bit of warm and hot lead nurturing. So we're going to get started by talking about your ideal or best customer. Now, if you were to think about your program or your product, we want to think about who is the best fit for this program. You want to think about who you serve. You want to think about what specific problem you solve. You want to think about how you specifically serve them and why you specifically. Okay. So I want you guys to be thinking about that. And Mikkel, we're going to go over the tracker link when we make the copies. I got you with that. So within this, I want you to think about the reason why this is so important is we want to think about where are these humans hanging out? Where can we find more people that would be a great fit for your business? And how can we be in those locations as much as possible? Because you are now the experts in your field in this specific range, and you want to be their go-to resource. So if you mainly coach women, we want to be joining women's networking groups in person. We want to be joining things that are online. There are many different places and resources that we can go to that you can start to meet these humans. Now, my business coach for the past 2 years, Stacy, talks about how you meet people, you tell them you're a coach, and you offer to help them. So similar thing here, you meet people, you tell them what you do, and you offer to help them. The key piece of this is that you don't do it all in one moment, all in one day. You don't just say, hi, I'm Megan, buy my program. That's awkward. We're going to talk about how to make it less awkward. And from someone who tends to be like sometimes somewhat awkward, it's like, I had to figure it out and I can teach you too. So one of the things that I've seen with most business owners is that they have consistency issues. You get a bunch of consults one month and then you don't have people the next month. You feel like you are quote unquote fully booked. You've got all the people and you're like, oh, this is great. I've got all the clients I need. And then what happens is life happens for those lovely humans. Let's say you work with 10 people and then something happens and 3 people drop out, which is normal and part of having a business. But what happens is then it's like, and what I said here is I was like, we want to make sure that we don't make it mean anything about you guys. And if that happens, please bring it for coaching. We will coach through it. But if life happens to your clients, you do not want to make your business reliant on your current clients to stay with you or your current clients to re-sign with you. I want you to think about what that would be like if you were in this group and I was like, hey, I really like you, but like you have to buy from me or else I will not be financially secure and it's going to be horrible. I would be in this really desperate, creepy energy that is not fun to be the client of, and it is not fun to be the coach of either, or whatever you are. So it's like, when we're thinking about that, we want to make sure that we are just always having a constant influx of people. So you don't become so attached. Remember, we're committed to the business, we're committed to our humans until they say otherwise. And we want to make sure that we are detached from those humans. And the other thing that's important, I've had, interestingly enough, I was just talking to somebody that was like, oh, if people resign, I thought that was a bad thing. I'm like, oh, that's very different than my experience. So totally different strokes for different folks. But for me, in my personal experience, I was worried that if people didn't resign, I had people that were getting insane results their first round of working with me, and they didn't resign. And I was like, oh, I did something wrong. That's totally fine. Single purchase customers are completely normal. And it just means they have their current needs met. When you're thinking also about setting expectations, what happens is we just think that, like, when I first started my business, I got all these consults because I was coaching children, and it was in the pandemic and people wanted a tutor. I wasn't a good fit for that. But I felt like every month I was just going to get like 10 consults. I was like, this is just normal. And guess what happened? Not a normal thing. I did not get consults for like 7 months, like I've mentioned. So we want to make sure that is something that we keep doing, that we keep working towards building our business and keep continuing to bring more people in always. We can't, like, we have no idea. There's so many circumstances that are outside of our control. So we want to keep consistently bringing people into our business so that we can consistently have good business coming in. And then the other thing that I found is that, like, if you've been in business for some time, you might not have new people in your audience, or you might look at your followers and you're like, I'm not sure who these new people, like, if these people would be a good fit for the program. I've talked with them. And you want to make sure that you always have new people coming in. And you want to make sure that you're replenishing your audience so that you always add more potential new customers. So these are the problems that I see with businesses. I want to tell you the solution is to nurture and meet the humans. So I want to have a process that you guys can do that is a very quick process where you are talking to people constantly. It doesn't just feel like you're like, oh, I'm going to do a webinar, I'm launching something, and so I guess I should talk to the humans and post and ghost, which I did so much of at the beginning of my business. We want to make sure that you're constantly taking care of your audience and talking about your product consistently, because then they feel taken care of. You also want to make sure that you're constantly bringing new people into your business. I had another thought here. Someone remind me to talk about hashtags, and also not hashtag, talk to you guys about a group. That's what came up. I was like, someone remind me to talk to you guys about this group and engagement. We're going to talk about that, but in a moment. Okay. So one of the things that I have seen is that why people don't meet more people is they feel weird. They're like, oh, I don't want to, they feel like uncomfortable talking to people, especially on the online space. If I know all of you guys, if I were to put any of you guys in a room, you would be the light of the party. Like, the life of the party. You would just be like chatting with people. I've seen a lot of you guys in action, and I also know you guys. But what happens is online people have thoughts. And when you have thoughts that aren't aligned to your business, it can feel really awkward to reach out to people. We're also scared that people are going to judge us and think negative things about us. So that's where a lot of this thought work is going to be coming in. We want to make sure that we're not creating businesses to avoid discomfort and judgment. We got important shit to do in the world. So coming back to the motivational triad, our brains are designed to conserve energy, seek pleasure, and avoid pain. Doing anything new in this program has meant that you've had to expend energy. Is that the right word? Do energy, use your energy for things, seek something that is new and maybe not comfortable, and go straight forward to things that are uncomfortable. So what I have here, and I think we've spoken about this before, is instead of having the motivational triad run our lives and our businesses, we want to switch to the accomplishment triad. And so when we're thinking about the instant gratification, self-focused piece of things, that's what happens with the motivational triad. So we want to focus on the long-term gratification and service-focused lens. So that means that we want to avoid regret. We want to seek long-term success and become energized by doing these kind of things. That means coming back to that 5-year long-term plan. I just listened to mine this morning and being like, oh my gosh, this is who I want to become. It's worth it. So again, focusing on this like accomplishment triad is important. Now it says, I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, but I am telling you it's going to be worth it. It's very important that you do this. Now, that lovely marketing calendar that you guys have all created and worked hard on within the past couple of weeks, here's why this is really worth it for you to just consider not posting and ghosting, actually talking to your audience. The algorithm, what happens is if you post and you don't respond to people, if you don't reach out to people, if you're not talking to people, guess what the algorithm thinks you are? A robot, people. The algorithm doesn't think you're a person. There are so many bots that are like copying people's posts and just posting for them. So guess who doesn't even see all this hard work that you put in to write these posts? Nobody in your audience. They don't see anything that you're doing because you're not interacting with them. When you interact with people, what happens is you go to the top of their feed, typically, according to the algorithm. So it's really important that you guys are just at least having some sort of conversation with some sort of people in order to get all this hard work that you've put in to create your content actually seen by humans. So there are some rules to this. There's a way to have a conversation with people that doesn't feel awkward. So we're just going to start conversations with people. Now, when we're thinking about networking versus cold leads, there are different ways to do it, but there's going to be, hey, some sort of connection. Nice to meet you. I'm Megan. A lot of times when you are doing the cold outreach, this will come second and this will come first with the warm, and we'll talk about that protocol. I have a very extensive one for you guys. Then we're going to say, find some sort of commonality. Have just genuine conversation with them. Find out more about them. We always also want to be service first. We want to not think about your goals, not being like, oh my gosh, this person has to be a client or else my business will die, because they feel it, even through a computer screen. Thinking about why it would be good for them, taking time to build a relationship, like talking to people 10 times. So don't lead with buy my shit. Is here. I was like written down so nobody start. And this is what people think of as it's like, hi, buy my product. Hi, buy my product. We're never doing that. And I swear if anybody says that I'm teaching that, I will come find you and give you a hug, but then also say, don't tell them to say that. I was like, and then we also want to have perspective that there are 7 billion people in the world, probably 8. I was like, I don't even know. There are lots of people in the world. This is just the beginning. We just want to get to know the humans. Again, coming back to that committed, not attached. We don't want to be attached. And that's where you might feel the salesiness. So here, depending on your audience size, there are 2 kinds of outreach that you can do. You can find people that are cold leads. This is the part that most humans have a lot of resistance to, and you do not have to do this if you don't want to. Be clear. You do not have to do this to have a successful business. However, what you want to do is you want to think about places where you go as a human, and you want to think about where you could connect with people, especially if you are a generalist. Think about where people are already investing in themselves in some way, shape, or form that you could just get to know one person. Remember, if you think about every person knows like a wedding full of people. So even if you're maybe not a good fit for them, they might know someone who you could help. So when I was doing cold outreach, I would talk to people at the yoga studio I went to. There are also places and groups. I would love for you guys to be joining some groups online. There's a women's social club that's an entrepreneurial group in Raleigh. And so I was like, oh, I'm a business coach. This would be a good place for me to reach out to people because I help businesses. So think about where your problem how your problems are being solved and join groups like that. There could also be local people that you could connect with and just like think about product awareness. So Offline Raleigh Durham is it was kind of a networking group and now they kind of shifted to a dinner club, but they still have events where I could go to and network in person. And then there's also education and certification. So these are people who have similar programs, might be a good fit for your product. When we're networking in person, I've got a protocol for that I'll talk to you guys about. And there's a protocol for how to do this online that I will show you. But that is the cold lead. Now, if you have an audience that you've gotten to know a lot more, I have it recommended here. Again, these are always like recommendations. These are not like my word of law, but I say Tuesday, Thursday, if you already have like a fair amount of people in your audience. But if you have a smaller audience, you can always focus on doing that more. Like if you need to meet more people, focus on the cold leads. If you have a larger audience, then you can do more of the nurturing. Does that make sense to everybody? So it's yeah, you do the reverse. So within this, when you have warm leads, these are people that you've had a conversation about your business with. The way I like to think about this, these are people who are who have come to webinars in the past, people who you maybe have done consults with, people who are just talking to you about their business. That's where we change it from a cold lead to a warm lead. And so this is where you've had some conversations, you've talked with people that could be potential customers. That's what you're going to be doing on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There's also any of these hot leads that are like, ooh, it's like they're participating in the social media polls. They're participating in your Facebook group. They've done webinars with you. Those are the people that we want on the nurturing list. So there's and I think I called it a connection list and then a nurturing list, or you can think about nurturing and outreach. Either way, those are the ways I like to think about it. So what you're going to do is you're going to work with people. And I like to do this 30 minutes in the morning and then just respond to them sometime in the evening. It doesn't have to be the last 30 minutes of your day, but that's the way I like to do it. And for the nurturing list, this is where you're going to have old clients who they already know, like, and trust you. You can reach out to them. Former consults, people who like your posts, anyone who, if you have a Facebook group, people who are in there, anyone that you've talked to about your business, subscribers to your email list. Again, you don't need to have all these things, but these are people who you could put on this list. And this is where we want to just check in with these people. We want to get to know them and build a relationship. And one of the things with the connection list or the nurturing list, you could even talk to your current client or current audience and be like, hey, I'm Megan. Thank you so much for following me. Do you have any questions? It's like, what are you looking to grow in your business this year? I know that a lot of my clients are looking to finish the year strong. What are your goals for this year? What made you decide to start your business? What kind of things are, who do you help? Do you do one-on-one or group? What are the kind of things that you do? These are the kind of things that I talk to people about and just get to know them. Figure out who on earth are these people. Within that, I want you to think about, and I think we've talked about this before, but the people you are nurturing are people who have already opted in some way. They are following and they know you, that kind of a thing. So what happens is I want you to imagine the people that are like, oh, I don't want to like have a conversation with somebody who isn't already talking to me first. What I have found is that a lot of people look at people who are at like a 7 and 8 figure place in their business, and that's how they do their engagement. So they're like, people who have very, very large businesses, they might not be responding to people's DMs. They might not be getting to know their current audience on a one-to-one level. However, that is where literally all of them have started. That is one of the things that I think is a misconception that I want to clear up. The second thing I want to say is that if you think about people who are liking, following, subscribing, all those things, if you have like a physical store, I want you to imagine your store is like an actual physical store, and people are opting in, they're liking, subscribing, following, whatever, connecting, all the things with you, and you just sit there and you're like, and they walked into your physical store. It's awkward. You want to say, hey, thanks for walking into my store. Would you like, it's like, dude, I noticed you're looking at the shirts. You liked a shirt. Would you like to talk more about said shirt? Great way to like have just like a segue into just a normal human conversation. I'm not saying like just be like, hi, I'm Megan, buy from me. Like, that'd be weird. And we've all had those experiences. I also want to offer to you the third thing I'm going to say about this is that as business owners, you have marked that you have a business, right? So you have on Instagram knows that you have a business. The bots and people that you might be getting in your DMs that are like 550 subscribers for $1, it's like, I will make you $100 million in 2 days, whatever it is. Those are coming to you because you're a business owner. Like my partner, my friends do not get those messages. And the majority of you guys might not be business coaching. I know, Nadia, you are a business coach as well, but like most humans are not getting random DMs from bots. You're just getting it because you have a business. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, this is optional, this next part. So if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But if you do have an audience that you don't really know just yet, that you are looking to build, I would highly recommend connecting with more humans. And that's all it is. It's just connecting with people. And it's just 10 people a day. So it's like when you are doing this, what I do is like, again, this is just like the people who are connecting with. You want to figure out who are your recent followers. These are people who have just been following you, like I mentioned before. And if you are getting to know them, instead of copying and pasting, hey, thanks for following, hey, thanks for following, hey, thanks for following, the algorithm will think you're a robot. So you have to do a little bit more work. You have to send either a video, a voice memo. You can use ChatGPT and you can have it create like 15 different ways to say, hi, thanks for following, whatever works for you. But for me, I just do videos and I'll be like, hey, thanks for following, or I'll do a voice memo. It's like, I'll look at their page and I'll be like, oh, that's cool. It's like, oh, they have a coaching business that like they help moms to lose weight. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'm like, hey, thank you so much for following. I'm Megan. I was like, I saw that you help moms lose weight. That sounds awesome. Like, how'd you get started with that? Just something in like making sure that like they know that you are an actual person. A lot of you guys also on here, I've had a lot of you guys say that like the reason you signed up to work with me was because I actually got to know you as a human. Like instead of just like not following you online and like not talking to you. So it's worth taking into account if that's how you buy, probably how your people are going to buy too. And then if you have a longer conversation with those people, feel free to move them over to the nurturing spreadsheet. The other way, again, this is totally optional, but is to find those new people, those new connections, those common things like the groups, the Facebook groups, anything like that, and have that personal connection with them. You're going to go to followers. You're going to find public accounts. I'm going to show you how to do this in just a minute. You're going to respond to their question. I like to do it by responding to their question with the story. You don't have to. And then If they respond, then you can say, hey, I think we both go to, we know, we follow this, and that's how I saw your account. I'm Megan, sorry to creep. Then if you guys have like a long conversation, then you can nurture them and build a better relationship. And way later on, that's when you offer a next level offer. Demetria asked a great question about who do you follow? Do you follow them back? And I only do that if we have more than one conversation. So like I typically, like if these are just people who are following me, I just follow them back if they actually talk to me, not if they don't talk to me, you know? The next thing that you guys can be doing is going to in-person. If you're like in-person is way better for me, go to in-person events. There are so many. And you can like be like, hey, nice to meet you. That's where the QR code that we created a couple weeks ago, that can come in handy. Put it on a business card, be like, hey, nice to meet you. Harmony, I'm going to go over the connection list in just a moment and you'll see. The other thing is you want to go to the event, get business cards, add them on social media. And then when you come back home, be like, hey, so nice to meet you. Let me know if you want to have a conversation about this, X, Y, and Z. Then you want to add them if they have a longer, you can add them to the connection list. You can create a separate spreadsheet for them. Either way. And be like, hey, again, having a longer conversation with them, and then you can invite them into the next level offer. And you guys are phenomenal. I'm going to go through how to do this. And then I promise I will tell that weird thing that I was like, remind me to talk about this. Promise I'll go into that now. So I'm going to have you guys make a copy first. And then I'm going to show you how to network. All right. Go ahead and go into your six-figure systems classroom. Module 5. Go to slides. Lead tracker template. Would you like to make a copy? Yes. Take off copy of. Click the little arrow. Go into your six-figure systems Google Drive. Click new folder if you haven't already. Label it 5, managing and networking. Click into there and move this document. Next, go back into the classroom. Click the networking protocol. Click make a copy. Click here. Instead of copy of, go here. Managing and networking. Move. The reason why I think this is one of the most important things is for those of you that have and this is just literally what I did in the spreadsheet or in the slides, so you guys know that it's there. But if you do this, 10 people a day, 30 minutes a day, for an entire year, just during the weekdays, that's only 2.5 hours a week. And that could result in 2,500 different conversations. If your offer is $2,000 for like 4 months, say it's 500 a month, whatever it is, that means that for you to have a 6-figure business, you only need 2% of those people to opt in. That's it. So it's why I'm saying that this is a huge piece. This is worth a lot of time, I would think. I also just signed on. I have clients that are in the multiple 6, moving to 7-figure range, and they are still doing this. One of my coach, Stacey Bayman, we had our 200K call, and she talked about how ads and algorithm isn't working like it used to. You got to actually have conversations with people. And she, even at the 8-figure level, she's made $10 million, is having conversations with every person. If you look at her Instagram, it shifted drastically. She's having conversations. Yeah. I was like, the math helps. It's like, okay, I would be willing to spend 30 minutes a day if it could get me 2,500 conversations and have a 6-figure business, might be worth it. So she was saying that, like, even her, she's responding to every DM, she's responding to every message now, even at the 8-figure level, because things aren't working like they used to. Building relationships is the foundation of every relationship. So I'll get into it. So the connection list is here. It's a second tab over. I'm going to show you how to do this. So what we're going to do is, let's say, so you're going to put the date. So today is Halloween. And then you can put 30 minutes a day. If you have less time, that's fine. The goal is usually 10 people. And then the source will be the Life Coach School. Okay, I went through that kind of fast. Let me recap this. The connection list is people that you don't know. This is totally optional, but if you want to do this, this is a way to do it. And I'll talk you through how to do the nurturing list as well. So within this, if I wanted to go to the Life Coach School and I wanted to find 10 new people that could be a good fit for 6-figure systems, I would go onto Instagram. I would look up the Life Coach School. And this is where I would click on their followers. They have people following them every day. And I would look through thinking about who is my ideal client. And I would want to think about who I could help within here. So I would scroll through, and usually people don't have this large of an audience. And this person, lifestyle blogger, I'm guessing this could be some sort of a business. So I'm going to double click, move to new tab. The reason why I didn't click on the other people, this is a magazine. I know that's not a good fit for me. And Rachel, if you notice, she doesn't have a rainbow around her face. That means her account is not public. So it's, I couldn't really get to know Rachel. Same with Hinda. Daria, I could probably make a connection with, but I like to talk with people on their stories. So she could be a potential person. I'll show you how to do that. And I'll just go and I'll find 10 humans. I'm like, that could work. Your encouragement coach, I'm like, this one could be a person. And I'll just go through and find 10 people. Okay, so she is, I'm not sure if she has a business, so I'm going to keep moving. Oh, business. I'm going to pull her account. Does that make sense? So it's like, you want to go to people who are public, typically who have a story. Those are helpful. So then I want to click on that redhead Hallie. I kept reading the hatred Hallie. I was like, so we're going to talk to Hallie. She seems super cute. She is a small business owner. Awesome. So I'm going to click on her story and be like, okay, cool. Hats. I hope you are doing, you're doing better than you think you are. Happy Monday. And this is where I want to respond to one of the things that she says in her story. Be like, I couldn't agree more. Where did you find this quote? Remember how I talked about in the slides that I was like, the steps 1 and 2 will be switched. So for the cold people, we don't know who they are. So we're going to just respond with a question and see if they reach out. I'm like, she seems really cool. And I'm going to paste her name here. So again, just, hey, question, post. Moving on. Then I exit out. Sales funnel expert. I'm going to see if this she posted a day ago. I'll be like, oh, stop relying on funnel templates. Cool. So I could go to her last post and I can send it to her. be like, message her and be like, I just sent it to her before. I'd be like, OMG, I totally agree. I love this idea too. How long have you been making funnels? I love how long have you been making funnels? Sentence, question, just getting to know a human, exit out. Then this, your encouragement coach. Okay, it seems like they're like super cute. I'm like, I want to show you the beautiful human you are and just get you to believe in yourself. I'm like, oh, I love that. It's like, this is awesome. And I can like it. And it's like, I am enough. And I'm like, that is so cute. Your encouragement coach. And I can say, just find them. Her. And I can go back to her page. Coraline. Like, this just made my day. I love that idea. Do you actually have, I was like, I was gonna be like, do you actually have red lipstick? Because I'm like, that's a lot. Like, it's like, don't have lipstick, but I have it in markers. How did you, it's like, are you coaching people too, or providing positivity? Either, question mark, either way, keep it up. Amazing work. Something little, your encouragement coach, copy, paste, and it makes it all weird. I know. I also realized I didn't do that with Digitally Darla. Reminds me of Finding Nemo. Fun. And then exit out, and then Mara. I'm like, well, that seems really cool. I'm just gonna say, so neat. Just realized it's a full moon for Halloween. Love this. Do you do these groups often? Which I want her to think that I'm like interested, but it can just start a conversation. Like, oh, I like to do stuff like that too for my clients. Boom. Okay, so the reason I'm doing messages like that now is literally just because you guys are on here. And I usually, if you send a voice memo or video, you have to do it on your phone. So I want to show you what it looks like on here. So that's why I did text instead of video or audio. But you can do either. Both are great. So now, again, I don't follow any of these people. Those are just humans for there. Now for the nurturing list, these are going to be people. Remember how I talked about consults on week 2? I want you to look back at this year, and I would love for you to write everyone you had a consult with, when you had the consult, and if you want to have a follow-up. And then I want you to add them to this nurturing list. We don't want to just have a consult and post like, and just be like, oh, well, you didn't buy, so I'm just going to ignore you and leave you forever. Like, hell no. I was like, I had a consult 2 weeks ago. I've had 2 consults 2 weeks ago that I'm still talking with them, still having a great connection with them. Who knows, they might do the next group. We've been talking about it, but like, I still want to build up those relationships. Now, you want to choose whatever platform you like. I like Instagram. I spend more time on it. So what I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll all like you can see it's like I'm having conversations with people as much as I possibly can. So within here, and this doesn't mean that you need to stay on your phone all the time, but this is where I'll usually go through and I'll either continue conversations with people and add them to the list. So for instance, it's like one of the people, I was like, I feel bad. I'm like, this isn't necessarily like, no one share any of these names, even though I'm in conversations with them. Like, I don't know if that's weird for them. It might be confidential, but it's not. It's just my Instagram. So one of the people I've been chatting with her. Oh, I need to respond to this. Remind me to respond to pretend. But we've been talking and I just met her and I said, hey, thanks for following. And so she responded with some videos. And then I responded with her some videos. She was like, oh, I saw you on Stacey's podcast. And I was like, just talking with her about her business. And she's like, oh, so cool. And I was like literally on the stairs separate for the gym. And she's talking with me about her kids and how she's like wanting to leave her pharmacy job. And I was like, cool. And so now, and only now, it's like when I have like had at least a couple conversations with her, that's when I move her to my lead tracker. And for me, I just literally will forget. I'm having conversations with so many people. Sorry, wrong one. I will forget them in their business. 100%. So this is Bertan, and I'm like, okay, so she's in 2K, she's LCS, she's a health coach, she has 4 kids, she wants to go full-time and have more flexibility. I'm like, oh, okay. And like, this is where I'll just get their information. Who do you coach? Who do you help? I was like, for anyone who's doing like, are you part-time? Are you full-time? Are you a mom? Are you like, all these people are just people who I've had conversations with. And then I also want to keep in touch with my old clients. So this is when I like talk with them. These are people who might have done conversation. Like I did a consult with her and she decided it's not the right time right now. So it's like, I'll have the list of them here. And then I'll also have like the last time I spoke to these clients. I don't usually go back nowadays. I usually like add the times, but you don't have to do this all the time. Like, look, last time I talked to them was in September. Totally fine. And then look, it's you guys. So I have you on my list. And these are all the people who I talked to in the past that I was like, these might not be a great fit anymore, but still if I have time and I'm like just chilling, I'll reach out to them. These are old consults. So I'll be like, hey, it's like, let me go to a person who I haven't talked to in a while. Nikki. I'm like, oh, she's super cool. So it's like, I'll just find where I like left off on my tracker and I'll be like, I've had conversations with these people. But fun fact. So we started talking on 9/6 and she was converted yesterday. Like, so it's like, I know. So going back a little, I'll put the person who I've had a conversation with, I'll put the date I added them, and then the last time I followed up with them. But let's say, I talked with her too. I'm like, yeah, let's go to Nikki. So I'll like go to the last person because all those people I just need to update. And now at this point in my business, I update it like maybe once a week. So I'm not great about it. But I'll be like, sweet Nikki. I saw that she just did Juice Plus or something. And I'll be like love this. I was like, usually she has a story. I can message her and be like, hey, how are things going? I'll just be like, oh, she saw it yesterday. Cool. Hello, dear friend. And we both went to state together. And it's like, I thought I'm going to the state game, to the NCSU game on Saturday. And I thought of you. How are things going? So she just started her dietitian business and we've been like talking about it for like literally a year. And so I'm like super excited for her. And I'm like, okay, I talked with her on Halloween. Beautiful. Like, and I know that now you can add this here. It's like, what are her goals? What does she actually want? And it's like, I know that Jess started business and doesn't know how to bring in clients. So I'll try and engage the conversation over to that. Another great thing is having conversation about your pillars. Be like, hey, it's like, oh my gosh, I know this can be a really, if you're a burnout coach or a stress is part of it. I know it's like, I know it's gonna be a really stressful time of year. How are you doing with stress? Are you feeling burnt out? It's like if you incorporate those words and they're like, you're talking about it in your posts, you're talking about it with me in my messaging, you're talking about it with me in my consult, you're talking about it with me when we coach together. It creates that consistency in the front end of your business. Does that make sense? It's not just like cold DMing the humans and not just being like, hey, I don't know them. It's like, I know these humans. But again, talk with a lot of people. I will forget these humans if I don't take notes. And it's helpful for me to be like, okay, it's like, oh, she wants to get like one of the people who I talked to yesterday, she was like, I haven't had any clients and I would like 5 more by the end of the year. And I said, oh, what's your plan? Like, that's a great, I love that for you. What do you have a strategy behind that? What are you thinking? Because I'm like, I think that's doable. But I think a lot of times people focus on belief work and that it can get you really far. And we want to actually have a more set way for them to do it. So bring full 3 questions. So the text, I think that it works better. I knew I was gonna forget it. So I said to remind me. So what I would like for you guys to do is I would like for you guys to start bringing more engagement to each other. So if you feel weird and you're like, I don't know about the DMs, Meg, I'm not sure about this. What you can do is I just joined this group. This is new this round, so nobody knows about this. I just joined, I was invited to this group for some coaches. My friend Olivia invited me. And she was like, what they do, it's so cool. It's literally a group of all these people, and all we do is put our posts in here so other people can like it and engage with it. It's crazy, but I'm like, this could be a great way for you guys to see each other's copy and things like that. So the goal, and I'll put like in the chat, it was like it's like, hey, welcome this person. Here are the do's and don'ts of the group. I'll make this. Can I make it bigger? How can you do this with LinkedIn? I've just started getting into this. Like, can you guys see this? I'll make it big. Okay, so it's like, here are the community guidelines. Do your best. Drop your posts in the only post chat. Reciprocate on other members' posts that day. LinkedIn values engagement in the first hour, but again, just do your best. The post only thread is reserved for that, no conversation. And you can, nobody really uses the chat. And you guys have a stream, so you don't need it. But like, no complaining, no drama. It's like, complaining isn't productive. If you've got a problem, bring it here, but don't dwell on what's wrong. Let's figure out how to make it right. And I can put this in the group chat if you guys want, or not in the group chat, in the stream. But yeah, so there's only 50 people that are allowed in this group. So they're like unsolicited offers, not allowed. So she created this group because she was like, don't love the DMs. And I'm like, totally fine. So it's a group and you just click on the posts and you read through and you're like, and this has actually helped my copy a lot. I was like, oh, this is so good. I'm like, I'm listening to what other people say. And I'm like, this is really interesting. It's like, okay. So frustrating comments from a colleague. Stupid. What happened here? It's so frustrating. It's like, could you repeat what you just said? And it's like, oh, such good. And I love Robin. Robin's like such a good friend. So it's like, she was like, I just like kind of gleaned and I'm like, oh, it's like, can you repeat them? I'm like, love this. It's like, I'm gonna be like, Robin, this is genius. Having a response like that to de-escalate is so important. And I love this idea. And so I've added to my schedule, I've added like 30 minutes for this a day. and I'll just go in and like it. I'll look at Estelle's and be like, all right. It's like, oh, she's got challenges. It's like tried Stitch Fix. It's like OMG, I have done the Stitch Fix. I've done Stitch Fix, and it's so much better to have a personal stylist helping. Couldn't agree more. So you guys can do this for Instagram. Be like, here's my post. Everybody like my post, please. I just posted my post, or here's my reel. And you guys can start to do that as well. Wonderful, wonderful news. I was like, yes, and everyone, so just so you know, I have all of your contact info. It is right here. Everyone's information. So everyone's Instagram is here. If someone wants to make that group in Instagram, feel free to add me, and I will also, you guys have already seen I'm liking and commenting all over your stuff. So it's like, feel free to add me and I will absolutely like and comment when I can. I would say focusing mostly on one platform. And since I know most of you guys from Instagram, maybe just doing Instagram. But if you want to make one for Facebook or LinkedIn, you can as well. So it's like, again, people who are liking your posts. The other thing was, if you guys have an email list, you do not need to have an email list. But another thing that I've been talking with like this, like multiple 6 and 7 figure people about, is looking at their click rate. I was so surprised. I was like, I didn't even know that this has happened. Any web provider can do this, any email provider, but there are different links in here. And you can click and see, like, this is Acuity is my scheduling link for a consult, and it shows you who clicked on it. I was like, oh, Julie and Lucy, should probably reach out to them, would be helpful. And you can see how many times people clicked on stuff. Okay. All right, my lovely humans, my lovely masterminders. How are we feeling now? What do you have under your testimonial worksheet? Harmony. What do you mean? It's like, you can unmute. I was like,
I just saw that in your tracker worksheet, you had one tab that was called testimonial.
oh, these are people who I've actually, who did the testimonial. So my freebie is a testimonial template. That's my, so it's like, if anyone comes to my, actually, I need to do incognito, but anyone who comes to my website, how do you do an incognito? I was like, if anyone comes to my website, it's a testimonial template.
Okay.
So you'll, next week we're talking about.
Okay. So it's a freebie. Okay.
Yep. What was that about Acuity? Acuity is who I do my email. That's who I do my consults with. And it looks like people clicked on my consult booking link. So these are all the other links that I have in there.
So what do you do with people who get your freebie? It's just the emailing list.
I reach out to every single person. Thank you so much for signing up for my testimonial template. I sent you an email through Megan Wing Coaching with some.
Yep.
Did it come through?
Okay.
Email you can copy paste, which is helpful. And then if they respond, that's when I would move them over. Most of these people have had conversations outside of here. But I need to add a bunch more people this week. This is like, and then people who sign up for webinars. That's here. People on my email list. I just made a list of this because I was scared that my social media was going to get shut down. So I have that here. Just people who found me on my website. I need to desperately get client reviews on, what's it called? On Google, but I don't, so that's fine. This is from the mastermind webinar that you guys came to. This is a plan your year workshop I'd had, a marketing workshop I had, mastermind interest, marketing conversion. These are all things I've done. Yes, it tells you who clicked on it. Demetria. Hello.
Okay. So first of all, fun fact, I met a lady on the plane last night who we didn't talk to the end of the plane thing, which was okay. Anyway, she asked what I did. I said I was life coach. She's just like, oh, I looked for a life coach once, but it kind of sounded like they ghosted her. So we chatted. I gave her my card. She didn't have cards, but I put it out in the universe. So that was fantastic. Okay, so my freebie is my workshops that I'm going to do basically every other week, but not quite every other week right now because of travel stuff, which it went really well on Friday. There were 5 people signed up, 3 people were there, 1 booked a consult. So super excited about that too. And she's a friend of mine. She's one of my best friends. And I'm like, okay, but I can really help her because she's wanting to start a new business. And so she's been talking about it forever. So I can absolutely help her. So I'm going to just go with the consult and do it, the way I would do with anyone else.
Yes. Oh my God. So freaking good.
Yeah.
Tell me about this freebie. You're like, I'm doing the workshops every other week. What's going on with this?
So it's the 3-year plan. Remember we talked about that, the 3-year plan. So we had a PDF, the 30-minute 3-year plan was the PDF that I was going to put up. And the whole point of this is that I'm going to put that back up as well, because that's just another way to see like how people come in. And, they may not want to sign up for the workshop. They may download the PDF, but I was having thoughts about them both being the same thing. But even if somebody signs up for the PDF, they can still come to the workshop and go through live and do it, because we go through the plan live. That's the workshop. So I'm just going to do that workshop like every other week as a free offer and the PDF. So
Okay.
either way.
So could I give you a smidge of feedback on this? Because I
Yes.
love having the PDF and the opportunity to come.
Mhm.
What I would do, the goal is to get them onto your email list, have deeper conversations with them.
Right.
Anyone who signs up for a webinar, you could immediately put them and start having conversations with them and move them over to the nurturing. What I would like for you to, I just want you to consider something with
Okay.
your marketing, because it is the same thing. Why don't we just make it one thing that you're marketing, one thing on your link tree? And it's like we've got like the one 30-minute 3-year plan. It's like workshop and worksheet sign up here. Like to combine the two into one link, just because I don't want to oversaturate your marketing. People
Okay.
only see 13% of what you see. And I don't know, like I know like it could be interesting to see if people want a freebie more than a workshop, but
Mhm.
I just don't want it to be like it's like the 3-year plan. So where is the worksheet? What's the difference?
I haven't put it back up yet.
Oh, okay. I would say just like I would say 30-minute 3-year plan workshop and worksheet here.
Okay.
And like I
So
would
then go ahead.
I was just saying I'd put it all in one. But that's just my thoughts. I was like, let me know. It's like what comes up for you here.
Well, just how it would flow. Like, so they download the worksheet and then I invite them to the workshop, like the next workshop.
Yep. That's what I would do. Just because you're going to be doing the workshops consistently enough that you can still send information about the worksheet or about the workshop. They get the worksheet. So that it's like they get the freebie, what they came there for. And they also get to opt in for the free workshop. And it doesn't need to be 2 different things to click on. because a confused mind says no. And if we're thinking about like the I think this is fine, but I would say like having like too many links can make people a bit
Okay.
confused. Another
Okay.
smidge of feedback would be like one of the things that I was just given feedback on was that like make my link tree or the links on your website, whatever you choose to do, make it more like grow in this Six Figure Systems free Facebook group, like something like you will grow
Mm,
private coaching consult sign up, like things like that. And I take
okay.
but having something that's like more of a directive. So it's like um register for the 3-year plan workshop or it's like and worksheet here, or it's like PDF included. But if
Okay.
like that would just be my thoughts so that we just don't have too many links. How does that feel for you though? Totally up to you. You are the CEO.
Well, I'm just thinking about the flow of getting them through the process. I guess if they download, instead of saying register for the workshop, like download this 30-year whatever 30-minute 3-year plan, and one of the first emails can be inviting them to the next workshop.
And then you could market the free workshop also. That could work too.
Well, I guess just invite the people who download the PDF just to, so if I'm keeping my message, just download this PDF on Instagram, then once I get them on the email list, then I can start to invite them to the workshop. Or they could just skip straight to a consult.
Yes. And that's where I'm thinking. I'm like, you're within it, we want to make it really easy for people to work with you. You are awesome. We're stepping into the goal achievement leader and in this space. And I think that you have a thought, there's some sort of thought that is here that's going on that I think
Mhm.
actually.
Well, I don't, do you think the PDF's enough?
Why do enough for what? Tell me more.
So, like people download PDFs and they don't do anything with them, right? Or they'll download something and nothing ever happens. Like during the workshop, we really worked through, like I talked a little bit and then we worked through. I gave them time to actually do the work. And I let them know that they were going to come in to bring the worksheet or not. I had it on a thing too, but they were going to come in and actually do the work. So when we were done with the workshop, they had an outline of their 3-year plan.
Okay. So, and I think that this is why I was like, I think there might be a thought here because
Okay.
I think then you're like, if they then did the PDF, I was like, enough for what? I'm like, so I think the thought is if they really work through the whole worksheet with me, and if they do the PDF with me, then they will want to work with me.
Yes, I guess. And also, I guess it felt like a time to interact with them and for them to get to know me some.
Mhm.
But maybe not.
Which is good. This is for sure the whole objective is today is for I just think that like we want to have the interaction being like a huge piece of it.
Mhm.
And the PDF, the workshop, those are awesome. And I think what would be great is if they just work with you. Because then they get a whole 3-month, 90-day transformation. They get the whole shebang.
Right.
So it's like, I think there just might be a thought about like, they need to work through the worksheet. They need to get to know me better before they end up signing up for a consult and working with me. Versus like, of course they want to do this. They totally want to work with me. I want to get to know them as well, but also I want them to like, so what's coming up here?
Actually, I'm like, it's a lot easier just to market the worksheet and not have to do the PDFs and schedule, not the PDFs, goodness, not have to do the workshops and schedule those and do that every few weeks.
Yeah. So it's like, and this is just totally when the reason our intention with doing that workshop every other week was to get you experience and exposure delivering it and for you to interact with more people. I think when did you start doing that? That was like back in August?
Well, I had one that nobody showed up for, so
Yep.
I'm counting this last one as my first one. I mean, I've done other workshops, so I feel comfortable doing that.
Because we want to build like intrigue and excitement. We want to build like a lot of that like around a workshop. We're going to be talking about that next week. But I think that even just having like the 3-year plan worksheet, if you have that, when we're talking about like that could be your freebie. And then we could maybe do a different kind of workshop or things like that. But I also think that like, what if they could just get the PDF and then they like you talk with them and they want to work with you. That could also be like, I sort of make it like you like that they don't have to do as much to work with you. Like for instance, and this is just how it feels to me on like it sounds like your funnel is like sign up for the PDF, come to the webinar, do the webinar, and then talk with you and then talk you through for a little bit longer and then they do a consult. Versus it's like see Trimetria, maybe even book a consult right there or go in and get the freebie and things like that. We want to make it like super like, hey, let's just get on a call.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's coming up here? It's like, I know this is a shift in the
No, I mean it's easy and I feel like I can get it done. And I mean it's done. Obviously I have it done. I can, yeah, that's easy.
good. I was like, I would like it to be easy because it sounds like it's like it felt like that was like marketing the 3-year plan workshop every other week. That's a lot of work doing constantly, which is great. And we wanted you to get that experience. We wanted you to just put yourself out there. But now that we've had that experience, I feel like now we can focus on talking to more of the people
Okay.
and creating and maybe even doing like a different webinar later on. How do you
Okay.
feel?
I feel good.
I was like, I want this to be like a genuine, like, I feel good. Because I think that there was just like a thought that like they need more. It's like that the PDF isn't enough, that they need more to go through your funnel. And I don't think that's necessarily true.
Okay.
It's 5 more by the end of the year, 5 more clients by the end of the year, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we got potentially 1 with this consult. Let's start having these conversations with people. Now, so you've done a ton to nurture your current audience. You mentioned that you were potentially getting in front of a new audience. And again, we want to do presentations to nurture our current audience. I want to get you out there and meeting new people. There was that City of Austin thing. Any updates on that?
No updates on that. I'm going to be part of a summit in
Awesome.
December. So that'll be new people. So that will be good. I'm gonna do more in there's not a new networking group, but a bigger like Austin networking group. I put a post in the Facebook group there, just inviting people to a consult. So that's out there. And yeah, I'm My plan is to do at least 2 networking things a month. So I've done that. So I'm gonna keep doing that. At
Have,
least.
I love this. And I would really like, this is the time to like hit the, like anyone who liked this post, anyone who is going and following you, anyone who is on your email list, I would love for you to be like, hey, for you, you are a goal coach. It's like 2023 is ending. In the next 3 months, they could work with you for November, December, and January. Be
Yeah.
like, it's like if you want to finish and I like finish the year strong, start next year stronger, I would love to work with you. Now, this is like not like this is like the energy. It's like this is like the energy. What I want you saying to people is like, hey, it's like, I would love to get to know you. What kind of things are you looking to accomplish before the end of the year? I know the fourth quarter is like the biggest quarter. I know that things can get really crazy and goals can just totally slip off. What kind of goals, what are you looking to accomplish by the end of the year? All that jazz,
Right.
these are the conversations I want you to have with people. Is
Okay.
like how, like if we're thinking about creating conversations, do you think you could have a couple this week?
Just with random people, with like new people.
All new people, like I want you getting out there and meeting some people because you're already having conversations with your people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get out there and meet some new humans.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. How are you feeling about this?
Good.
5 people by the end of the year. It's happening. That's not even 1 a week. You got this.
Very good. Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Who else wants some coaching? Andrea, I know you have a launch coming up. And Maria, I know you have a webinar coming up. All the people. Nadia, I know you are working 2 jobs once. It's like, how is everyone feeling? I can start checking in with you guys individually. Does anyone have any stuff to say?
Hi.
Yes, Nadia.
I feel like I talk every week, but
I was like, I think everyone benefits from every single person getting coached.
okay. So I want to do a webinar. It's been something that I've been have on my mind that I want to do. So I was just looking for you to help me pick. Like I know I'll have to come up with it, but like come up with like the best type of webinar to do.
Yes. So at literally 12 o'clock today, you're all going to get the presentation module. But
Okay.
within this, what I want to do is this goes for everybody. I would love for you guys to like quote unquote launch, but not launch your not new programs as the new names that we've named it. So it's like, I want you, and what did we call yours? It was so good. It was like the business accelerator, the beginning
The
was
coaching business accelerator.
the coaching business accelerator, and be like, we want to be like launching that into the world and be like,
Yeah.
everybody should join the coaching business accelerator. It's so badass, so awesome. If you have just gotten certified, this is the program for you. And this is where I want you to think about them in the end of the year. What would be one of these things that would be really, oh, this is not your pillars. I keep thinking it's your pillars. These are your actual pillars. This is the console. LOL. Moving forward. I was like, so we've got overall direction, time management, marketing, and selling. What do you think is the biggest thing they need before the end of the year?
Before what?
Before the end of the
well, in their mind, they want to be signing clients.
So let's do that. Let's talk. Okay, so what can you teach them? Which of these things can help them sign clients?
Well, I suppose it depends on who who it is, because like your business foundations that we spoke about, it's like, because a lot of people, especially in the beginning, have all the confusion about who they help, what their offer is, their program, like, and once you've got all that nailed down, decided, it's a lot easier to move forward and sell. But I
Okay.
mean, I think all of them are important.
They are all important. And guess what? You get to do multiple webinars throughout the year. It's like you got
Yeah.
plenty of time. So what do you think would just be helpful for them? And let's say, do you want to do this at the end of November?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of November, you got one
Mhm.
month left in the year. What do you think would be they'd be like clamoring to get to learn more about?
So I think probably more in the likes of market, like in their head, they're like, I need to get consults, I need to get on the calls with people to sell them.
Yes. It's like
So that's, even though they don't know that there's back stuff before that that's going to help them get there, but like in their head, they're like, how to actually get consults.
so what if we call it the How to Get Consults webinar?
Okay.
What would you say? How do you get consults?
Well, you talk to people, you get into conversations with people, just exactly what we were talking about. Talk to people, offer value to people, like be of value to people, while also, you know, teaching them about all your concepts, everything that you know that is going to help them, and then make them an offer to come on a consult.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
Yeah, but I'm like, see, so soon I see that, I'm like, yeah, but that sounds very similar to other people. Like, talk to people, offer value, make them an offer. So then I like freak out. I'm like, I can't say that.
So we could eat, like, it's like, yes, people might be saying this, like, I know, but the thing is, you're different because you're one-on-one. It's like, if you've heard this before,
Yeah.
maybe the reason it hasn't worked, or what the reason why I would love to get this working for you is it's a smaller group. You could also change the wording around a little
Yeah.
bit. So this is like, it's like make connections. It's like offer value, and then see if they're a good fit, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I can play around with the wording of it. So it's not like, yeah.
yeah, and even then, the fun thing is, it's like every business starts from like taking what someone else said and saying it in your own words,
Yeah.
the exact way. And
Yeah.
there's no one that's going to come and be like, oh, teaching the same thing. It's like, because you
Yeah.
also have, it's like, this is one piece of it, but you also have to have all these other pillars in order to make your business work.
So see, my question then is like, see on the webinar, like, because like standard webinars, right, are like, what they would do is be like, right, these are the 3 steps that you need to take in order to create consults. But they don't ever like tell you how. Like, it's like, you know, they teach the what, not how. Like,
So what would you teach them that would make them different?
that's what I mean. So I'm like, do I actually give them some of the how
Yeah.
as well, to be like, do you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. I like to give, and some people say like I give too much how, but like if we think about like it's like how to get consults, it's like these 3 steps. It's like, this is your brainstorming. It's like, we're going to figure out like how to make your network increase your net worth. And it's like, I want you to think about like, it's like, what are, after this webinar, you are going to have an idea of 3 different places where you could start meeting more people, to like meeting more potential leads. So you could talk about like, yeah, there's this piece, the meet people, tell them, is like this 3 steps. But then there's also like, it's like, if you're talking to all the people, might be a little broad. You teach niche, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you want to have a clear idea. Just like literally, you could be like, what is your ideal client? It's like, who is your ideal client? Who would benefit? And where are 3 places they hang out?
Yeah.
It's like I want you, it's like your action steps, or I want you to focus on each piece, and I want you to either go in person or I want you to be going online and meet at least 10 people a day. It's
Yeah.
like I'd never heard those parameters, like the 10 people a day. Feel free to take it. Like
Yeah.
it's like, but if you talk to 10 people a day before the end of the year, 4 weeks, it'd be the last week in December. It's like 10 times 40, wait, 50 times 4 is 90, right? Nope.
I don't know what your math is.
So sorry, 10 people a day, Monday through Friday.
Oh, okay. Right.
Just in
50.
December. That's 50 people a week, right?
Okay.
And then it's 200 people. It's like, do you want, it's like, get how to create 200 conversations before the end of the year.
Okay.
See how
Yeah.
that is? It's like,
Mhm.
and all you do is you cycle through those 3 places and you meet 10 new people in those 3 places.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
You see how that's super compelling. They're like,
Yeah. And it's still high level because it's not like teaching them like how to actually, you know what I mean? Like, because you also, it's like you can't give too much because that's only just one part of it, isn't it?
it is. And that's where all the other pieces come in. And then what you'll do is for each of the presentations, you'll be like, this is one piece of what I teach is the engagement something. The engagement
Yeah.
system. I was like, so it's like, this is the one of the 4 main pieces that you need to move your business forward. It's like, if you want all 4 and you want someone to guide you, hold your hand every step of the way for the next certain amount of time, I've got you.
6 months. Right. Okay. Yeah. No, that sounds good. Okay. So the webinar is just on how to get consults because that sounds compelling. Because I know there's things on like how to sell on consults, and that's great. But I know loads of people are like, yes, but how do I get them? Do you know what I mean? People that struggle to get consults on the book.
And I would say like this is like the lead generation it's like it's like you'll have like a subheading. It's like the lead generation protocol to create 200 conversations by the end of the year.
Okay.
Or you can say to create 200 leads, but it's already here. It's like,
Yeah.
love this. How are you feeling?
Yeah. No. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, because I've been wanting to do it for ages, but I just it keeps going to the back of the pile at the moment. So I'm like, and I love doing webinar. Like I love doing teaching and things like that. So, but I don't do it as much as I should. Like I want to. So I think if I get one behind one,
Yes.
then I can focus the next however many weeks on generating leads to go into the webinar, so that then I can sell.
That is literally why we're doing that this week. Because I would like for you guys to all think about what your goal is. And that's why I put Demetria, I put your goal here as well. How many people do you want to sign before the end of the year?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have if I signed 3, I would be happy.
Let's do it. Why not? Let's just put it into the universe. 3 people by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be so cool. Also, give me a win real quick before we move on. How's life?
Life is good in general, but a win that I had in regards to obviously all of this is today I was like, because remember I talked about last week I was procrastinating putting stuff off, and what I figured out my breakthrough is the reason I was is because I wasn't following through on my planning. Like so, like every time I had the hour, I wasn't. So I did my whole schedule today, and I followed it 100%. Like, and I've actually created a similar. You know how you do your
Monday hour 1-ish?
No, you know how you do your graph that like tells you like when people score it. I'm creating a graph for myself going through the mastermind of like the actionable things that I can do. Do you know what I mean? So of like so that I get to, it's like not that you get a tick every day, but like I like to see that I'm following it. So yeah, I thought that was really good. I enjoyed it.
In fact, we're gonna do that. That's gonna be coming up, of course. I was like, because bitches love graphs. I'm like, Megan loves graphs. It's like one of the things that like I have like a whole thing to talk about your revenue. We're going to talk about how many times you're networking, outreach, posts, reels, consults. All this is coming too.
Yeah, looks good.
All right, awesome. Love
Okay.
this. Who is next?
Thank
Andrea, I saw
you.
Andrea, I saw you turned off your or on your camera for a second, but then you went away. If you need to go away, that's fine too.
No, I'm here. I was gonna volunteer for coaching. So I have a webinar that I've scheduled for next Monday. So I guess my win is that I currently have 11 people signed up, and but my goal is I'd like to have 30.
Awesome. Goal of 30. And how many people for your mastermind?
Oh, to sign up after that, I think I said 8.
Perfect. 8 people join. Okay. Tell me. That's awesome. How can I help?
So I know that we had talked, I think it was actually in our one-on-one, kind of laying out a plan. And I was looking at that earlier today, and it was like, oh, 10 posts a week leading up to the webinar, and like 2 reels, and I don't know. So I just feel like I'm feeling the grip of like self-criticism because I have not necessarily been following that. And I know that like it's progress over perfection, and I have definitely had more progress. I had created a marketing plan, whether or not I necessarily like stuck to it. I know that there were several times that I like went back to refer to it and like used it as like a guideline to like create my post or whatever. So I'm just like, I don't know, like I said, I feel like that self-criticism piece is kind of creeping in. And then also like, I feel like it's more like a panic though, of like, oh God, 1 week, I don't even have an outline written. I don't have the slides done, which is fine. I usually do them like the day of or whatever anyways. But like, I guess I kind of feel like I've already posted so much about it. I've already emailed my list about it, and I only have 11. Like, I guess that's where the panic is. Like, I don't know like what else to do, because I've even done a few other things that like were outside my comfort zone, like on my community's Facebook like ladies page or whatever. They have a sales Saturday, and I like put it out there. And my best friend liked it, but nothing else really happened, you know, and I've been posting it in like other groups. I feel like I've been I emailed directly some people that had attended other webinars of mine to really like personally invite them. And a few did you know, join after I did that. But yeah, it's just kind of like this panicked feeling. And it's like, what really happens if I don't get 30 people? Nothing. Like, you know, except my own mental beat down and my own wallowing in self-pity and disappointment, but that seems bad enough. So
Yeah. And I think there's like this thought about like that like if I don't, then this will absolutely have to happen. Versus deciding how you want to treat yourself ahead of time. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, oh, it's like I have an option. Instead of just being like, okay, I want you to, so it's like I'm gonna come back to this thought. I don't know what else to do. I think the reason why it's causing you so much panic is because you're like, it's 30, make or break. Like, if I don't get 30, then what?
Right.
What is
And
it?
it's this like erroneous thought that I have that like, okay, fine, like it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be perfection, but it does need to be progress. And so I guess in my mind, 11 is not the most I've ever had sign up for a webinar, so it doesn't feel like progress.
Okay, right.
You know, because I think the most that I've had sign up for a webinar was 17. So I feel like, okay, fine, it's fun and, you know, whatever if I don't hit 30. However, if I don't get more than my highest number, then like something went wrong, I'm not doing it right. You know, they don't want what I have or what I'm, you know, teaching or whatever. And I know that that's a thought error too, because I'm sure I could look back at that like webinar that had the 17 people, and I mean, I know how I was rolling before. It was like, I mean, even in my last one, it was like week before, okay, I'm doing this. Like, let's just start slapping it up everywhere. Let's just whatever. And you know, people came to it. You know, so I think that this time around it's been more methodical and it's been more planned out. But I guess I figured that if I was being more intentional about it, planned it, you know, and I don't know, I just thought that like it would work better, which in working better in my mind translates to signups.
Which, and we don't even know. It's like the thing is still next Monday, but your brain is already like, it's over. It's done. We're done here. And it's like, it's thinking that it's protecting you and helping you. It's really, your brain thinks that it, by getting in this self-criticism, by being like, not thinking how far I've come, more methodical, more planned, not thinking that, like, it thinks that this is serving you and going to help your business grow. But I want you to notice that it's taking you out of the CEO energy. It's taking you into making it mean a lot about yourself, a lot about the business. It's like, versus being like, okay, it's like, what would I do if I want 8 more people to sign up? What does a CEO do if I want to get 19 more signups? How could I be creative? How could I problem solve? Every single time it keeps like, it's never the same every time, but I'm getting better every time. This is definitely the most planned out I've been. I announced it ages ago. So it's like, this is like the best it's been, and I'm going to make it even better. So what happens is when you're not problem solving from that mindset, you undermine your ability to figure out what else to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know these thoughts about like, they don't know what I have, those thoughts and that loveliness? It's like, people don't know what they want. We tell them what we tell them, hey, do you want to join this mastermind? It's 6 weeks and it's going to take you through the end of the year. It's going to be badass. You are not going to have to worry about the holidays. What is it? Hasty holiday, or it's such a catchy name. I like the name.
Merry and light.
Merry and light. It's like if you want to have a merry and light holiday, we're telling people this is what you want. We know it's what you want, right? So it's like, when you're thinking about like undermining your ability to figure out what else to do, I guarantee that there are plenty of humans who want to be merry and light throughout the holidays. We just might need to get a little more creative. We might need to talk to people. If talking to people worked, I was like, if this was helpful, why are we not doing more of this? That would be good. How many of the 11 signed up because you talked to them?
I honestly like, when we're saying talk to them, you mean like a direct email?
Hey, I'm doing
I
this.
think only 1 or 2.
So what if we did 19 more? Maybe they would sign up. How many? So you talked to 1 or 2 and both of them signed up. Are you telling me you have 100% conversion rate for talking to people?
No, I sent out probably, I don't know, 10 or 12.
Okay. So
Direct
we know that 10 to 12 people, let's just say it's 10, make the number math easy. Okay. For every 10, 1 person signs up. If you want 19 more people, we need to talk to a ton more people.
Okay.
What if you talk to 100, just literally what Nadia was just saying, 190 people, that's 10 people a day until the webinar. Guess you what? You would talk to 200 freaking humans.
Yeah, I know. That's where I start wanting to like vomit a little bit.
We don't want to like nervous system. We want to stay regulated. We want to stay regulated, stay on board. But it's like, I know that there are 200 humans who want to be merry and light for the holidays.
Yeah.
100%. It's like, so if you think about it like that versus focusing on you versus thinking about them, it's like being like it like that's just like, and again, it's not like a, oh my gosh, I'm thinking about, like, it's like everybody does it. And my job is just to get you back into this energy of being like, oh my God, there's absolutely 200 people that could absolutely use this. How can I get creative and figure out what to do? How could I get 19 more signups? And not only that, the beauty of having those conversations is, guess what? You start the conversation and getting 8 people to sign up. When is the close cart?
Well, it's gonna be open for 5 days.
Perfect. So it'll be Monday to Friday.
Okay.
So the cart is closed on November 10th. So by November 10th, it's like we're gonna have 10 or 8 people signed up for a group. November 6th, you're gonna have 30 people. What would we need to do to make this happen?
I don't know, but my body just started getting really hot and my throat feels like it's closing up.
Don't do it, bro. It's okay. You're safe.
Because I feel like I definitely feel myself like going into that like needy, graspy, I'm gonna have to be very like convincing kind of like energy.
If we want to,
And I know that that's not like I know I won't feel good about that, and I know that that's not like the most effective place to be coming through that.
okay. So what was the thought that made you feel like that I have to convince them versus like, this is the best party ever. Like, you need to be there on Monday. You are going to learn how to make things merry and light. I don't know how, but you are a genius. You've lost 90 freaking pounds, woman. It's like, I'm like, that's insane. That is truly awesome. I'm like, there is something that you figured out how to make it merry and light. I'm writing shit down with them. Look at your post. I'm like, okay, drink water, wait an hour when you get to the party. I'm like, okay, gotta make sure that I don't have an alcoholic drink beforehand. I'm like, I love this shit. I'm like, yes. I'm like, this is the stuff that people need to know. So it's like, more people need to know this. I guarantee I didn't know it.
Yeah. I don't know, because like I'm struggling a little bit because with my last sign up, I had 2 people, and I know that you and I have already like talked about this. Like 2 people be in the program, only one of them is paying. I asked a coach friend to audit also, but neither one of them is like engaged in the program. And I think I definitely struggle, like, I guess, being confident about my product just like on my own. Like, I'm really looking for that external validation that like it's working for other people. And I know I've worked with other people in different variations of my program in one-on-one, and they've had success and they've really loved it. But I guess because I've like revamped it, and I'm utilizing the pillars and all that kind of stuff, that I'm like still feeling very like needy for that like validation, that it's like helping people.
So it's helping people is a belief that you can have. So it's not something that's I know. I was like, we're gonna go to your thoughts, create your results. I know. But it's like this thought that it's not helping people, it's optional. It's like, when you're thinking about your group and things like that, deciding that they need to learn how to have weight loss momentum, self-confidence, live intentionally, and stop emotional eating. It's like, are those things that people need to know to lose weight?
Yeah.
Like objectively. So this thought, what was the thought? It was like, it's helping them, even if they are learning your version of momentum, emotional eating, confidence, and the other one,
Intentional living.
right? So it's like, this is how you lose weight. Factually. This is just true. This is what it takes, right? So it's like, whether or not we can't control the people, but we can become the kind of person that gets all of these engaged humans. Fun fact, it is about this launch, but I want you to become the kind of person that is a thought leader in the weight loss industry. I want you to become the kind of person that's like leading a movement of people. You see what I'm saying? It's like, this is a very different shift. It's like, I'm the kind of person who signs 30 people and for a webinar, and I sign up 8 people. The reason why we set these goals is for, we want to intentionally set a goal so that way we can really focus on who, like, actually helping these people right now. But it's also about who you're becoming on the way to this goal. That you are getting one step closer to the book writing beach house version of you. That is the 5-year plan version of you. So for me, when I had the intention of this group, my goal was 30 people for this round. And I got 10, which is awesome. I am like delighted. Even if I was just helping one of you guys, I would be just so thrilled because I know it's creating just a way simpler, easier business for you that can create your legacy. So for me, I was like, that is enough. I feel like I've given my contribution to the world, but I also became the kind of person that was like, I'll sign 30 people in a group. I was like, hell yeah. I'm like, what does the person who signs 30 people in a group do? For you, you're becoming the person who signs 8 people in. Like, yeah, what does that version of me do? What is it? She knows that this is going to absolutely help them. How could we step into being her in this launch? What's coming up for you now?
I mean, when you talk about being like a thought leader and leading like a whatever, that definitely has me being like, oh my God, what? No, I just 8 people. We don't have to lead many. Just like
Right.
it just puts me into a spin. But I mean, I know that there are other things for me to do. I've had like different notes here and there on like things that I wanted to try. So, I mean, it's just really bringing me back to being in action because
Yes.
I can get into those thought spirals of, I don't know what to do. See, I don't believe in myself and, nothing's working and maybe I should quit. So I just
Not
need
going
to
down that road.
get myself back.
So let's start with the A line. Let's come right back to here. What would be like the things you want to do this week to make this happen? And again, this is where you can hold the dichotomy. You were like, I'm going to post it. Who said this? I think it was you. Is like, I'm going to post this and no one might read this also. It was somebody. You remember when at the very beginning, somebody was like, I'm holding 2 thoughts. I'm going to hold the thought that like, I'm going to post this. It was you, Nadia. It was like, somebody said it. I don't remember who it was, but it was like, this is going to be awesome. And also no one might read this and it's fine. So it's like, I'm an awesome thought leader and I just need 8 people. I remember who said that. So too. So amazing. What would it be? So what would it just like, if we were just thinking pure A line, what would you need to do to make this happen?
I mean, I've reached out on previous like webinars to some people on Instagram to like share it to their stories. So I could do that. I could find people to do like lives with and like talk about it. I actually just saw somebody shared my reel today to their story, so I can reach out to her and be like, hey, like, thanks for sharing that. Like, what's your Halloween plans for today or whatever, because it was a Halloween reel.
Yes.
So I can start that kind of, and for me, I think like honestly, a huge goal that like is probably much more realistic for me. I know you're saying 10 people a day. For me, it might be one. Because
One
outreach,
person a day.
yeah, outreach is something that very much has me wanting to like vomit and hide. And so one might be enough.
Services.
And then yeah, just emailing my list again. Yeah, I don't know.
I would
Uh,
also add, like, this is the last time they're going to be able to work with you before the end of the year.
Okay.
You see, it's like, this is the last chance for you to get help before the end of the year. I really want you to get this help.
Yeah. So let me run this by you really quickly. I know we're coming up short on time, but I don't know if this is coming from the right energy. But honestly, it was kind of inspired by your last webinar, but also there might be a neediness there that I'm turning it up a bit. Yeah, no, I feel like I don't like it actually now, but okay. So I was thinking about saying, you know, for those who attend live or whatever, I'm giving like one free, I don't know what you would call it, admission, or I'm going to draw a lucky person to be a part of my 6-week course.
Right. I did it for one coaching call, but I'm like, let's freaking go. I love this.
Do you? It's not like trying to come from a space of like neediness, like trying to entice them. I mean, I guess that's only for me to answer.
I would say you can sell yourself either way.
Okay.
Either way, it's just thought. It's a C. It's like, I will do a giveaway. It's like, what thoughts do I want to choose to be like, this is service oriented?
Mm-hmm.
Really want this for them. I want someone to do this 6-week course, and I want you to feel better for this throughout the whole holidays. So that's why I'm doing a giveaway for one person to be a member of this next group. You can totally do that if you want.
Okay.
It the neediness is a feeling and a thought that are optional.
Right. Okay.
How does that feel?
I mean, it's a little bit of a relief that like I can do it and it can come from whatever energy I'm putting behind it.
And what kind of energy? I was like, I can do this is a thought. What kind of feeling do you want to have versus the neediness, panic?
Just empowered.
Boom. This was so good, guys. I know that if anybody else had other things that you wanted coaching on, feel free to put it in the group. I got you. I was like, Harmony, Morgan, Mikkel, everybody, feel free to, if you have anything else that you want to add, feel free to add it. Otherwise, start that Instagram group, start posting and commenting on each other's stuff. That's going to be awesome. Do the networking. It's going to be great. And I will see you all next week. Okay. I love you guys.